Good morning, dear friends. I hope you've had a really fun week. I want you to know that I'm still missing you and thinking of you all the time, and I'm wondering what summer is like for you this year. I hope I can see you soon. My story for you today is about some helpful neighbors. A long time ago, there was a beautiful land, and on this land lived huge elephants and tall giraffes and little tiny meerkats. There was one source of water on this land. It was a lovely watering hole pretty much right in the middle of the land, and all the animals drank from it every day. The elephants also really liked a good shower. They would dip their trunks in, fill up with water, and then spray it all over themselves and each other. And the giraffes kind of rolled their eyes at this silly behavior. The meerkats avoided the area during shower time because they didn't really like to get soaked by elephant showers. Now, sometimes there'd be a spell where the water level got a little bit too low, so at those times the elephants knew they couldn't shower because they needed to save enough water for drinking. One day, when the water was starting to get a little bit low, one of the elephants had the best idea. If we build up the sides of this watering hole, it will be deeper, it would hold more water, and then we'd never have to worry about having enough for showers. Well, all the elephants thought this was a great idea. And the giraffes liked that the elephants were so excited. The meerkats hadn't heard the idea because they'd gone in early to get their drinks and left before they'd be sprayed by elephant showers. So the elephants got to work building up a wall around the pool to make it like a tall bowl. They used logs and branches, and they filled in the gaps with big rocks and some soil. The giraffes helped because they were good neighbors and they loved a good community project. They all worked hard for the rest of the day, and when they were done, there was a nice solid hill all the way around the watering hole. The elephants and giraffes went to bed for the night, hoping it would rain really soon so they could see their pool fill right up. Well, it didn't rain that night, and the water level actually went down a little bit more. And when the meerkats got up that next morning, they rubbed their little meerkat eyes and stretched their little meerkat arms, and then they scurried over to the watering hole to have their drinks and clean themselves up before the big elephants got there to start their showers. But when they got there, they were really surprised to see this enormous mountain all the way around the pool, because that's what it looked like to a tiny meerkat. It wasn't very high for the elephants and giraffes, but to the meerkats it was huge. And since it was all big logs and tangly branches and large stones, they couldn't really climb it to get to the water. It was really confusing and a bit alarming. Eventually, the elephants and the giraffes came along, and there was still just enough water for a drink and a quick shower, so that's what the elephants did. They put their long trunks over the wall and sucked up the cool, refreshing water. And the giraffes were able to reach their necks over and bend down and drink the water. Now the meerkats were able to drink some of the water that spilled off the elephants, but have you ever tasted water that has washed an elephant? It tasted bad. Well, the next day, it still hadn't rained. The meerkats got up early, went to the watering hole, and saw the huge barrier still there, and they again couldn't get to the pool. They waited, and when the elephants and giraffes came along, they saw that today there wasn't enough water for the showers, only enough for drinking. That was kind of a bummer, but they'd be okay. The elephants were just a little grumpy about it. But this meant that the meerkats didn't even get to drink elephant shower water that day. They tried to talk to the elephants and giraffes, but elephant and giraffe ears are very high up, and meerkats are little, so their mouths are close to the ground, and they weren't heard. So they went away droopy and thirsty. The next day was kind of the same. The meerkats got in close to the elephants, hoping to catch a few drops, and a big elephant almost stepped right on one of the meerkats. She noticed just in time, and she let out a bit of a scream because she was startled. "Ah! Why are you under my feet? You all are going to get hurt." The meerkat was answering, saying they couldn't reach the water and had to drink their splashes, but the elephant only saw its mouth moving and couldn't hear because the meerkat was way down there. "What?" The meerkat tried louder, but still the elephant couldn't hear. A nearby giraffe saw what was going on, and he bent his head down low to listen. "We can't reach the water," said the meerkat, "so we have to drink whatever drops down from the elephants." The giraffe told the elephants and the other giraffes what the meerkat had said. All the big animals felt sorry for these little meerkats, so they decided right away that they would help. And they each thought they knew best how to help the meerkats reach the water. "Their noses are all wrong. They need to have big trunks like us. Let's make them some," said an elephant. And the elephants got busy right away making these long, awkward tubes. They put one end of each tube over the wall and into the water, and then they tied the other end of the tubes to the meerkats' heads, and they told them to suck in like how you might use a huge straw. That wasn't right. The meerkats either couldn't suck the water up hard enough, or if they did, then a huge flood of water would come through and practically drown them. "No, no, no, no," said a giraffe. "The problem is their necks are too short. They need long necks like us so they can get their mouths down to the water." Believe it or not, they actually tried to stretch the meerkats. Can you imagine that? That was awful. Another giraffe said, "No, no, 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 no. Look at those short little legs. They just aren't tall enough. We can fix that. We'll make them stilts." "Yeah, that's it," said the other giraffes, and they got busy making tall stilts for the meerkats. Well, that wasn't good either. The meerkats had a very hard time getting up on the stilts, and then they couldn't really balance, and they kept falling, and then when they could balance, they couldn't get down to where the water was. The elephants and the giraffes kind of shrugged and shook their heads. Too bad. We tried to help you every way we could. Sorry, but we think you just can't be fixed." A big, gentle elephant looked at the frustrated and defeated looks on the meerkats' faces. And then she asked an important and specific question that none of the others had thought to ask. "Meerkats, what can we do to help you?" Of course, when the meerkats tried to talk, nobody could hear. One elephant started to pick up a meerkat to bring it closer to its big elephant ear, but the elephant who'd asked the question stopped him and told him to put the meerkat down. She then slowly knelt down on one knee and the other knee and all her four knees, and she brought her grand body all the way down close to the earth. She tipped her big head so her ear was closer and she could hear what the meerkats had to say. The other elephants and the giraffes just watched for a moment, but then, one at a time, they each carefully knelt down and got close to the earth and lowered their ears too. The meerkats explained that the way the watering hole was now structured just didn't work for their bodies. And to reach the water, they needed the wall to come down. "But we really want to be able to have enough water for all of us to drink and bathe too," said an elephant. "Well," said a meerkat, "what if we dug the pool deeper instead of building the sides up?" But the elephants and giraffes didn't know how to dig. The meerkats knew how to dig. This would be a very big digging project, and they knew they couldn't do it alone. So they asked the elephants if they would be willing to learn and help. The elephants really wanted water, and they wanted to care for the meerkats too, so they agreed. And like I said, the giraffes were good neighbors and they loved a good community project, so they were in too. So the big wall was taken down. The elephants dug deep in the middle of the pool, and the meerkats dug down at the edges, and the giraffes worked in the areas in between. It didn't take that long, and then the rains came and filled the pool, and it was deep. Now, all the animals could use all the water for drinks and showers and everything they needed, and all the animals felt safe and cared for. Once in a while, one of my kids will ask me this great question: what can I do to help you? When they ask me that, it feels great. I wonder what would happen if you and I went out in our days today and we each asked someone, you and I, what can I do to help you? Let's try it and let's see what happens. I'll ask someone that question, you ask someone that question, and then tell me your story of what happened on Zoom or in an email or in a letter, and I'll tell you about what happens when I ask. I look forward to hearing your story, and I'll see you soon.